We are live on the Me and Jesse podcast. We are joined by Donald Penn, none other. Pro Bowler, undrafted to absolute monster in the NFL. Mark is a massive Raiders fan. Let me just tell you that right off the bat. And he has been jacked that you came on the show. So first of all, welcome to the show, Donald Penn.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I've been following Mark for a minute, so I know he's a Raider fanatic. We love it.
But you know what's funny though, Donald? I was in the MMA business for 16 years. I own the largest MMA show in the country, and people tell me all the time, they're like, "What's your favorite sport, Mark?" It must be MMA. It must be boxing, and I'm like, "No, it's Raider football." And they're like, "What do you mean Raider football, man? You mean NFL?" I go, "No, no fantasy football, nothing. I pay attention to that team, and that's it, or who we're playing, right?" So that's how it went down.
That's crazy. It's got a lot of similarities, though. You know, MMA, the trenches and the O-line, all them battles. Good thing we got a helmet on, though, because I don't know if I'm messing with no MMA.
No, but hey, but for sure, Donald, I always thought that about you, man. You're only 38 years old, and I thought, you know what? At your size, and I know how you listen. Everybody thinks you're sweet, okay? But I know when you play football, you ain't so sweet. So that's important when you're playing in the MMA world.
Oh.
Now tell me you didn't have the mindset to do something like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do it, but man, my dad do boxing. I don't know, MMA, they get a little reckless, man. It seems like the refs always take too long to jump in before they get them last two punches in when somebody's knocked out and stuff. So I don't like that. I think I might have dipped into boxing maybe a little bit. I don't know about that MMA. That's a whole nother level.
Well, but you did come from your high school, from high school football, and then you went to play college at Utah, if I remember correctly.
Utah State. Yeah.
Utah State. Now, how does that happen? How do you go from the high school to high school, and now you play 14 years? And let's be honest too, right? You could have played 15, 16 years, but I agree with you. When it's time to stop, it's time to stop. But you could have played another 2 between you and I, just for everybody watching the show. Because like you said, I watch some of those old linemen right now. And even on your worst day, you could play better than a lot of those guys. So please explain to the people watching at home how it's possible for you to come all this way and to be relatively healthy at the end of it all.
It's blessings, man. I'm blessed. It's a great blessing. I tell everybody, this game of football, it's a lot of hard work, studying, training, dedication, but it's a lot of luck too. It's a lot of luck that goes into this football game. You gotta really look at it. If you look at that season when we went 12 and 4?
12-4.
Look how many close games we won. Just start off with the first game.
Yeah.
Crabtree. Yeah. End zone, going for 2. Yeah. I mean, I coincidence and luck, I kind of believe in it, but we had a lot of luck going for us that season. And you look at teams that like the Bucks when they won last year. Had a lot of lucky stuff go for them last season. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm just saying that's how. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
I remember my first year with the Raiders when we had Tony Sparano as
I remember.
Coach.
Yeah.
A lot of those breaks didn't go our way. That should have went our way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then that year we did. It was just boom, 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 and then at the end of the season, the luck ran out. Kind of with the injury. I don't even like talking about it. So that year, but getting back to what you asked me about, coming from high school. Me, I always had a determination that I wanted to make the league, and I wanted to. I thought I was gonna play in the NBA growing up. I didn't play football sophomore year of high school. I played basketball, growing up. But I stopped stretching out. I started going this way, so I had to decide which one. It wasn't too many Charles Barkley's in the NBA.
Not at that time, no.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to decide, and I started picking up football in high school, sophomore year, and basketball. Me having been so athletic, I picked it up pretty well. Then like junior year, I was still trying to think I was gonna make it to the NBA. And my college football coach Greg Dixon, he had to sit down with me like during the summer. During summer program, I was missing some football programs to go, some football workouts. So we had basketball games in high school. So. And he was like, "Man, I know you love basketball." He's like, "How many football letters you got?" I got like a shoebox full of it. He was like, "How many basketball letters you got?" I was like, "Maybe 1 or 2 from a little small." He's like, "From where?" I'm like, "Little small school." He was like, you need to make up your mind. You know,
Yeah.
I know you love it. It's good to stay in
Yeah.
shape, but he said, I need you to put in a little bit more work because, you know, so then I started missing a little basketball, trying to make it work, you know, because I still love basketball, but, you know, I started taking that off season serious. And, you know, senior year came in, had a great year. Had, you know, especially me coming from a small school, you know, I committed early. Week 4, I committed to Arizona. That fell through. You know, I thought it was in Pac-12. I mean, it was Pac-10 back then. You know, I thought it was going to be close to home, playing at home at least once a year. I thought it was good. So they got a new coach at the end of the year. He wanted to go a separate way. So, you know, a lot of schools weren't really on me. Had a couple other schools here. I was about to go to Oregon. They wanted to gray shirt me. You know, gray shirt back then was when you got to pay for your first semester.
That's right.
And you know, my mom, growing up in the hood, my parents are doing as much as they can for me. You know, I'm grateful as hell. But my mom, pops, they couldn't get approved for the loan. So I had a couple other schools. Utah State was one of them. And I always believed if I started 4 years, this was my belief. Like, I felt like if I started 4 years, them first 3 years, I was going to learn the game enough to where my 4th year, I knew what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be. And I felt like I needed that learning and kind of, how do you want to call it? That learning.
That's a process.
And the repetition too, you know, practice, repetition.
Right.
So, you know, Utah State was like, hey, you got a chance to come in, you know, and be a 4-year starter at a couple other schools. And, but Utah State was like, you got a chance to come in and be a 4-year starter. So I was like, you know, let me go in and see. And it was rough. It was different, but, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wish you would have won more. I wish I would have went to one of those big schools, you know, playing the national championships and all that. But, you know, I learned a lot of genuine, valuable lessons out there. I got a lot of friends for life. And I guess I'm about to live those big schools through one of my kids when they get older and go and live it that way. But, you know, I just always knew I wanted to make the league. Like, even when I got to college, people go, man, I used to always tell people when I first got to college, I'm telling the older guys, seeing I'm going to make it to the league. They look at me like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, all right. You know, a lot of people like, all right. I'm like, bro, I used to tell them I'm only here because I'm making it to the league. Like, I'm only here. I'm going to do my 4 years, and then I'm going to the league, you know. So I'm just like, and a lot of people didn't determine me. And then, you know, I started balling once I got on the field. I started picking it up, and I earned my respect from the older guys because, you know, as a freshman, you practicing against the older guys. I'm laying these dudes out.
Yeah.
They can't do nothing but respect me. You know what I mean? Because of the way I'm playing. And, you know, it built up like that, and I just kept grinding. You know, we went to a small school. Back, my school's doing great now. Utah State football, they're on the map. They're doing great. I'm so proud of them. But when we were there, we won 4 or 3 games a year, you know, so it was tough. But I just stay with the process, stay with the grind. You know, we had scouts come my junior year, you know, when the seniors did their pro day, you know, they had some juniors run and stuff like that. I remember I ran, the scouts clocked me, I ran like 4.9 as a junior.
Wow.
So that was like open up. That opened up like eyes. They were like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like this scouts started talking to me after the pro day. They were like, hey, bro, you need to keep it going. Like a couple of scouts came up to me like, you really got something special. Like, keep it going. So, you know, that senior year, I just went out there and I just balled. I don't think I gave a sack my whole senior year. I balled out. But, you know, being at a small school, I think my senior year, we played Alabama. We played University of Utah. They were ranked we played Fresno State. They were ranked real high. Yep. So, you know, like at the end of the year when the teams came in, they wanted to see Alabama. I think we played Clemson that year. They wanted to see Alabama, Clemson. They wanted to see Utah, UNLV. So, you know, those games, I was just like really out there killing. So, you know, all that happened. Went through the process. I got invited to the Hula Bowl. Went out there to Hawaii. I had like an immaculate practice. Like I'm killing. Like I ain't have interviews set up with teams. In the week, I'm having interviews with teams and stuff at the Hula Bowl. I like killed that week, you know, little small school kid coming in. So we go to the Hula Bowl game, looking to build up from where I picked up, you know. At the Hula Bowl game, first play of the game, they run the ball right behind me, great block, pancake the linebacker, running back gets tackled on the back of my legs. I tear my MCL, first play of the game.
Shit.
In the Hula Bowl All-Star. So my dumb ass, I don't know, my bad, I ain't gonna cuss. My dumb self, you know, my pride and wanting to be like, okay, this is my only game to show. I went out there and still played against the trainers and doctor's orders with a torn MCL. Ended up, you know, 2 sacks. You know, I can't do nothing. I'm out there I'm on one leg, just trying to, you know, me, my mind.
Yeah.
The pride, as you can see with the way I played with the NFL, my pride, like, you know what I mean? That's why I played 170 straight games. You don't know how many injuries I played through.
Yeah.
Through them games where some guys nowadays they would have missed. You know, they would have missed just for some stuff I played through. Sometimes stuff I played through in the 170 straight game. A lot of guys right now in this new day and age will miss games for some stuff I played through. So that pride really messed me up. And then, I went to the combine. I was hurt. So that was bad. I would have tested great. Like you told me, I was running. When I was working out, I was running 4.9.
Wow.
Low 4.9s. I was jumping 33. That was athletic. As you know, that was going to be my test thing. So I went to the combine hurt. And then my name just dropped.
Wow.
Dropped. Wow. I was like top 15 tackle. I was like the low 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was in the top 15, but I was like 10 through 15, you know what I mean?
And it just went down and down and down and down.
Yeah, combine went there, couldn't do nothing but bench. And then after that, so I went back to my school, worked out hard, recovered. I stayed in Utah with my strength coach was real good right there. My strength coach, he's been in the league. He was a 49er strength coach after I left college. He just left with the Minnesota Vikings. He just ended last year. So I believed in my strength coach. So I stayed out there working out. And it's just like, man, I had bad luck. So a week before my pro day, I had like 3 teams coming to my pro day out there because that was gonna be my chance to do it. So I'm testing. We're in the stadium just doing some conditioning. I'm walking the end zone and I'm running build-ups, down the 100.
Yeah.
We're just doing some conditioning, getting ready. It was a conditioning day. I'm running. My pro day's next week. I'm just doing a build-up. I pull my hamstring.
Oh no!
A week before my pro day, I pull my hamstring. I'm just like, what the heck? Like, what else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What else could happen? So, we had to let the teams know that I hurt myself. So instead of 3 teams coming, only 1 team ended up showing up to my pro day.
Oh.
Long story short, I did what I could, perform. Draft came, supposed to be a second-day pick. Phone was ringing 6th, 7th round, but nothing happened. So, I got signed by Minnesota. Went out there. The chip on my shoulder is even bigger now. I'm watching all these guys. In front of me. Excuse me. Get drafted. I'm like, man, these guys are nowhere near like as good as me. And like the stuff. All them guys that drafted in front of me, I know I'm making the league. All them. I think when I retired, there's only 1 person left in my draft class. And I don't know how he's still doing it. The Iron Man, the Big Wolf, the dog, Andrew Whitworth. I don't know how he's still doing it.
Yeah.
He was a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
And before then, like in the year 5, year 6.
Yeah.
I think the Brickersaw Ferguson. Like in my year 6, year 8, me and Whitworth probably the only tackle still left. As soon as the DeBrickersaw, but he was 1st round pick. So you gotta understand, like in my whole draft class, 14 years, there's only me and Whitworth left.
Amazing.
And I ain't get drafted. That year. So it just, it's crazy how things work. But that little chip on my shoulder, I always wanted to. One thing about me, I always wanted to play against the best. I always wanted to beat the best. I always wanted to show. Cause I went to small schools and stuff like that. So it's kind of like every time you play against a big school or somebody, like every time I play in the league, it's like, okay, the Marcus Ware or the White Freeney or I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go. Those be the games where I'd be like, yeah, because I want to show the world that.
Is it a fight? Donald? Is it a fight though in game day when you're getting ready the morning? Like, are you getting that feeling? I know it's football, okay, and I'm not saying nothing different, but is it a fight when you finally sit down on the line and you know who's going to be against you all day on Sunday? It is a fight. Is it not a fight?
It's a battle.
It is a battle. It is a battle.
Even though like Vaughn, if I see Vaughn right now, we're gonna chill, chop it up.
Sure.
DeMarcus Ware, Melvin Ingram, all of them, we're gonna chop it up on that field. It's a battle. It's a battle. We're gonna shake hands after, but in the field, it's a battle because you gotta look at it too like this. I ain't gonna let you one up on me. So when we chilling, I see you gotta brag on me, or you know what I mean. And then one thing I know if I don't get like, one thing in my career, I never got the accolades I should have. I should have made way more Pro Bowls. Like in Tampa, being that small market, that's when we were losing and stuff.
For sure.
It was like back then, it was like the same 2 people made the Pro Bowl every year.
That's right.
It was like no matter if they had a bad year or not. Much respect to them because I was in that year with the Joe Thomases and but I mean it was like every year it was same tackle, same time. I'm like, bro, he had a bad year this year. Like, I'm not gonna say he had a bad year this year.
He did. Yeah, I know.
Like, just because he made it the last 2 years doesn't mean he had a bad year this year. You know what I mean? Like, I had a great year. Like, it should have been. You know what I mean? Like,
they give him a pass. So, they give him a pass.
Exactly. And then I don't know how I didn't make the All Pro that year. We won 12-14. I don't know how I never made All Pro. I don't know how that year when we went and we were we were rolling. I have no clue how I ain't making all pro. It's just like I didn't get it, but my career, accolades, I should have got a lot more. But one thing I know that I walked away with from the NFL and that probably is the biggest reward out of any accolade or anything ever that I know I walked away from the league with is people's respect.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure.
And that goes, that's bigger than any accolade, anything. I know at the end of the day, all my teammates, everybody I went against, they knew that I gave it all my all, and they were in for a fucking battle. When they played against me for that whole time.
And people did know that.
Donald, do you think that the journey that you went on made you better, or would it have been better another way, getting drafted early and that kind of stuff? Or do you think that chip on the shoulder is what elevated you to that next level?
Yeah. Shit, Jesse, I would have loved to sign a first-round draft pick, first-round contract.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's everyone that's giving on that money. Yeah. But no. To be honest with you, I think me, even if I did have that, I would have still had that drive because I always wanted to be the best. I always wanted to be recognized as one of the best. I always wanted to be known as one of the best. So I think I would have still had it. But I think the other way, it just made it that much stronger, man, that much more determination, being an undrafted free agent, knowing that I should have been drafted, knowing that it should have been another way. And, my process was not easy. Like, a lot of people don't know. Like, my second training camp was probably the worst training camp ever. I mean, I took almost every single freaking rep. Like, when they switched, I was like left tackle. When they switched groups in, I just go to right tackle. Then when they switched the other guys in the rotate, I go back to left tackle. I got no break. It was just like, but all that repetition stuff, Bill Muir and Aaron Cromer, he's the O-line. Aaron Cromer's the head O-line coach at the Rams now. But Bill Muir and Cromer, I mean, those repetitions and all that stuff, it really made me. So I guess they knew. I ended up starting that year.
Yeah.
And I ended up playing ever since then. So they must have known something I didn't know. But, that stuff really, really helped me. And then, being in that being when I started with Minnesota, I had some bets. I had a lot of bets in Minnesota, a lot of bets, a lot of old guys. So when I was doing what I was doing in one-on-ones in practice, they're telling me, like, bruh, you got a little something. Like, I'm looking at them like, I'm still a little kid, like,
yeah.
And they like, dog, like, Matt Burke pulled me to the side, like, hey, bruh. He's starting to help me and stuff now, like, because I guess he's seeing it. Like, Brian McKinney, Matt Burke, Matt Burke, he's the best. Steve Hutchinson, Hutchinson just got when I signed Minnesota, Hutchinson was the highest paid guard in the league, him and Brian McKinney. So I'm watching Hutchinson go against Kevin Williams and Pat Williams in one-on-ones and not lose a one-on-one at all.
Wow.
I'm like, dog, he's going to get some beasts.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm studying that and I'm watching. And then when I go, they had this third-round draft pick from Purdue. I forgot his name, Minnesota. So every time I went against him, that was my time to, I'm a free agent. Yeah. I'm putting them hands on him. I'm locking him up every time. He's mad. He's going to fight him. All this. But that's my opportunity.
Yeah,
right.
And then when I got the chance for my third year, they drafted Gaines Adams.
Oh, wow.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Great kid, man. One of the most humblest kids ever, man. I love him. That's just tragic what happened. But I'm in training camp. I got first rounder. I'm still trying to solidify my spot.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I'm giving Gaines these hands every day in practice. And the good thing about Gaines is he was young and hungry. He's like, let's go, D.
Yeah.
He's like, let's go. Like every day because he wanted to get better. So every day before practice, we like
didn't matter.
We battling. And after practice, we talking about what happened and what we did wrong. Like we were always good friends. We knew it worked, but Gaines, he wanted to work. Like he'll get in there like, hey, I know you the best. Give it to me today. Like, you know what I mean? That's like, first round, I'm like, okay, let's go there.
So Donald, did that mentality come from, because you were talking earlier in the interview that your parents went to go for that loan, okay? And you talked about how your dad, and I know you call him Pops, right? So I see him on Instagram with you all the time, your dad, okay? And you guys are partying on the birthday, and it's fantastic. So, but what I want to know is that always been in the back of your mind, your mother and father, like forget about everything else, forget about anything that happened to you, but your mother and father trying to get you to get to somewhere and not being able to get you to that point. Has that always been in the back? That when people talk about their chip on their shoulder, it ain't no chip, okay? It's something worse than a chip, because your chip wasn't just in your shoulder, it was in your mind. So you had to be thinking that every day at practice when you're doing those reps and things like that. Because I see your dad even today on your Instagram all the time with you and hanging out, and that's not fake. That's real, right? So I want to know about the mother-father correlation with you as you're climbing up the ladder, how much that was in your mind.
Well, my mom passed away like 2 years ago.
That's right. 2 years ago.
She's been, well, you know, the thing is watching, you know, my mom, my pop struggle. You know, you can't, I call it struggle, but they were working hard. They were making sure we had what we wanted. You know what I mean? They were making sure we didn't want, even if it wasn't, you know, as much as we wanted, but they were doing everything possible. You know, like when my mom and Pops, you know, broke up, you know what I mean? Pops was at everything, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like he was at all the games. He even come to practice sometime, even when I wasn't in his care, you know, just to come see if I was doing stuff. You know, my mom was an English teacher, so I don't think my mom didn't care about me making the league. My mom was just happy when I got that college degree. I'm sure. As soon as I got that college degree, she was just happy, you know, being a teacher and being so strong. I almost flunked out of college twice. Wow. Another long story, you know, just you know, playing around, you know, being a kid, trying to test my limits, you know, seeing how far I could go. I remember one time my O-line coach, he passed away a long time ago too, Jeff Hoover. I don't think I would have made it without him. I remember I was flunking out. He called my mom. My mom flew out. My mom flew out to Utah. I didn't even know, so I'm at school. I'm at class one of the days. I did go to class when I was messing up, because when I first got out there, that winter hit. You know, I'm a California boy, come from the sunny weather. I got that snow hit. I was just doing the workouts and going back to class. So he called my mom out there. My mom flew, so I can't. He called me into the office. I'm thinking I was going there to talk. Man, this dude had my mom in there, bro. I was so mad. I don't think I talked to my coach for like a month straight. Like for like a month straight, man. She was cussing me out, got me right. But you know, stuff like that. It sets me up because, you know, like with me, I got 4 kids right now, and they're my world. You know, I try to do as much as possible with them. You know, me and their mothers might not see eye to eye, but I still try to push past that stuff just to do as much as possible and be there with my kids. But you know, I try to give them that. You know, because my kids now, they're the other way around. Yeah, I spoil my kids. They got everything, so now I got to teach my kids. Now I got to teach my kids the other thing. Like now you got to work for something. Yeah, I be telling my oldest son, I'm like, bro.
How do you do that now? How do you do that now?
That's what I said. When you turn 18, if you ain't in college, you ain't living in this house. You know, that's how my mom was. Like my mom had me like my mom was like, when you're 18, if you're not in college, like I'm not taking care of you once you're 18. I'm telling my son that because he's thinking like he's just gonna be living this life, gonna have his whole own room in there. And
which car am I gonna take today?
Like I'm gonna take care of him. And I'm telling him like, nah, you gotta get it. So, you know, my mom, they were strong, but you know, I had like aunties and uncles. You know, it takes a village, you know. So it wasn't like just them. We had a whole bunch, you know, there though. But my mom and my pops, they were just. I don't even know if they really thought I was gonna make it this far. Like I don't really think that was like an explanation. You know, one thing my mom always says though. She always says, and my mom, my uncle, they always just say, "Donald, you know, everything you told you was gonna do, you definitely did." Yeah. They say you cut it close a lot of times and scared us. But they was like you definitely did everything. So that's one thing. That's one thing about me. Like if I say I'm gonna do something, like I try to really like set my mind to it and do stuff. But you know, I don't know if my parents really even thought I was gonna make it this far. So I didn't think I was playing. I was only thinking about playing 10 years. Then it went to 13, and the next thing you know, I was at 14. I was like, man, fuck it, let me try to see if I can get 15. And I was there. Then it just didn't work, man. You know, I got 4 kids. I got tired of politics and chasing. And you know, towards the last year, man. Last year, I had some teams offering me like, I'm looking at them like, you really just offer me minimum? Like, I'm in my 14th. I'm in my 15th. You really offer me minimum?
No.
I said, do you see the guy playing in front of you?
Yeah.
Are you really offering me minimum?
That's insane,
like, bro. And I had a couple teams that were offering something. I'm like, I'm not about to get off my couch and leave my kids for 2.2, 2.5 when I've been making You know, it's a couple of things like that. I'm not about to leave my kid. You know, it was quarantine then, so I had the kids to school. I was here with them all the time. I'm not about to get up. And then a couple opportunities, you know, they wanted me to be a backup, and I was like, you know, I've never been a backup my whole life. I was like, not really. And they weren't really contenders too. You know, if it was a contender, I might have did it, but you know, it worked out. Then once second week of December hit, I was kind of like off of it.
But do you see yourself maybe in older age? Like you're only 38 years old, right? But I see how you are online as a father, and I see how people look at you in the dressing room, the guys, the mentality. Can't you see yourself coaching? Am I wrong? Am I that wrong? Like, I know you got lots of money, you got kids, you got all this stuff, and you're still telling me that you can't see, like, because I see how people look at you. So I know how the like we've had other Raiders on the show. We've had people on the show, and they've mentioned you before, and they've said stuff about you, and it's like that can translate into that. But you're already waving me off, saying no, that ain't happening.
You know, the biggest thing is, you know, I just played 14 years in the league. I've been playing football. Shoot, if you put together college, high school, I played football with 20-some odd years. And, you know, coaching in college and in the NFL, they put in more time than the actual player.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I'm like, how am I going to retire and want to spend more time with my kids than going to coaching where I won't be leaving 6, 7 in the evening, getting there at 5 in the morning. I'm already not a morning person. You know, so anything I would do, I'll coach my kids' teams, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
High school or something like that, but college and all that other stuff.
No, too much.
It's just too time consuming. After I put in so much time and work with that. It's like, I'm not going to knock it though, but right now my mentality is not really there. I really want to get in commentating though. That's what I really want to do. I feel like I can explain. I feel like I can really explain the game in a fun type way. And then, like layman's terms, is that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. For
I was actually going to say that you seem like a student of the game, meaning that you actually can dissect things that other people can't really see right, and you can break it down and actually start to explain it and give it to people that could understand it a little better. So what is it about commenting about that interests you, and what would you like to jump into then?
Because I hate when the guys retire and they get on TV and they act like they never made a fucking mistake. And they act like they were the best player and they're the best player.
It's not true. Not true.
I hate when that. Yeah. I just hate when I get on TV and they just start talking bad about people. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest from a player perspective.
Correct.
Like, oh yeah, he wouldn't have had a horrible game. He played horrible. It ain't like he thought all week he was gonna sit there and think he was gonna play horrible. Like, stuff like this happens. I'm gonna relate to myself a lot on the court. I've had a horrible game. I'll even bring up the game I had bad. Like, bring up that date. Like, you know, but he's gonna bounce back. But sometimes some of these people, they just say some outrageous stuff, and I feel like sometimes they just pick the stuff to try to blow themselves up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. I'm not gonna bring somebody down or demean somebody or talk bad about somebody just to try to give me a better job or give me better ratings. I'm gonna be the same person every time on the screen. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm gonna tell you from a perspective of me, and I'm gonna tell you from a perspective of a fan and an athlete too, because I've been both. You know, so
let me ask this: why did you retire a Raider and not a Buck?
It's a funny story.
Donald, give us the real story, because I know the real one. Because I know people are asking us like crazy, and I'm like, he said, you know, he was talking on the Raiders show. He said this. He was talking about Tampa. He say this, but on your show, I know he's going to tell the truth. I'm sure he's going to tell the truth. He just doesn't want to hurt people's feelings. That's all.
Nah, like at the end of the day, you know, I wouldn't have been nowhere without the Bucks. Like the Bucks, they always gonna be in my heart. The Raiders, I grew up a Raider fan. You know, and it was kind of like a dream come true. You know, I could have picked from like 2 other teams in the Raiders, and you know, when I came to the Raiders, so we were down at the bottom. So I was like, man, let me come out here and try to, you know, turn this thing around. So with the retirement thing, I was messing with my agent. You know, I got a great agent, Rocky Arsenal. Like he's like one of my best friends now. Like, he's not even my agent no more. I always call my agent like he's my friend. You know what I mean? So I was joking around when I was like, bro, I want to do something different. And he was like, what? I said, I want to retire with both teams. Ooh. I said, man, I don't know if you could do that. I said, I want to retire with the Bucks and have the Bucks trade me same day. And I signed with both of them. You know, that was my whole idea.
That's cool.
Because I had so much love. So my agent was like, all right, well, let me, I don't know. You know, he's like, nobody did that. I don't know. He's like, I don't know if you can sign 2 one-day contracts or how we going to get you from one place to one place in one day. You know, he's like, I said, well, just see what we can do, see what we can do. So, well, we called the Bucks, telling them we were about to retire, and the Bucks were like, whatever you need from us. We didn't tell them what we were thinking first. We just wanted to let them know what was coming up, and they were like, whatever you need from us, we're all on board. You know, we love Donald, whatever. So then we called the Raiders, and then we were talking to Tom Delaney and telling him what we wanted. They were all the same thing. And I guess he told Mark what my idea was. And Mark was like, oh, hell. Mark was like, oh, hell no. Nah. He was like, Donald's a Raider. He was like, Donald's a Raider in and out. He's like, he better retire a Raider. I'm not letting him retire nothing else. He was like, he's retiring the Raider. He's like, we're going to book all the family's flights out. He's like, let us know whenever you're ready. He's like, nah. He's like, tell him he's retiring the Raider. He's like, he's a Raider inside and out. He was like, no. He's like, so I was like, after that, my agent called me, told me that. I said, I guess we're going to Vegas then. You know, so it happened like that though. But I was trying to do something different. I wanted to kind of retire with both teams though. But you know, the Raiders still always got a special part in my heart because I grew up a Raider fan. You know, I grew up a Raider fan, so I was a fan of them before I actually played with them. So it's like you playing with a team.
Cool too.
You grew up cheering, and you helped turn that thing around, man. Like I really think they're gonna have I really think they're gonna surprise a lot of people this year too. You know, I was kind of disappointed with the draft too, though. But I mean, I kind of trust what they got going. You know, Gruden's a very smart, and he plays stuff out in his head a lot. So scenarios and stuff. So I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people. So I'm kind of excited. I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen.
Well, I was going to actually ask about the Raiders next. Because Mark's biased, so I can ask the real question.
I ain't going to say shit, but I thought you were going to crack off once he said it because I know you and your Seattle Seahawks. But I thought you were going to crack off. That's why I stayed silent because I'm like, because I think that every year, right? So let's be real here. Like, I mean, I was critical when Gruden came in, and so. I don't think it's panned out the way that they hoped it would. So do you think that, you know, not to throw him on the bus, but that style that he had when he won with the Bucs still can translate to today's game, or has it changed too much?
You got to understand, this is one thing. Since I've been with the Raiders, and even now, Raiders need defense.
Yeah.
When Gruden won the Super Bowl, what do you have?
Yeah, he had
Iron
Curtain.
What do you have? I've been with the Raiders the whole time I was there. We had no defense.
Yep.
We had to score more points than everybody. We were top offense. Gruden's there then. I love Gus. Gus was with me in Tampa. I pray Gus is going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Gus did a great job with those guys in San Diego. We need defense. If we get a little defense, even halfway in the pack, 15-pack defense, he's going to do enough. That Chucky, he got enough offensive mind, power, and brain plays to make stuff happen. If we get a defense to play just a little bit, we're gonna be okay.
How did Mac disappear? Like you were there during that time. How did Khalil Mack bounce?
Yeah, how did they let him go?
How did that even happen? Like no one was paying attention. Like I don't get it. Like I still cannot believe that happened.
Can't either. I just don't understand. Like, how did you knew this? Why did you guys not have a plan to pay this guy?
Yes,
you knew this guy was coming up.
Like,
how did you not have a plan to pay this guy top dollar? And I love those guys. I love Reggie. I love Tom. Those are my guys.
Yeah.
But how did we not have a plan? It should have even went to holding out.
No,
he should never even had to hold out.
No,
they should have had a plan. No, they should have signed him in his 4th year. They should have signed him the season before that season was even over and got him for the low.
Correct.
I don't know. And I was hurt about that, man, because I know he wanted a lot. I don't know what them talks happened. You know, I kind of think, you know, I don't know. This is not just something I think. So please don't. I think Khalil just really let his agent handle everything and didn't really communicate with anybody through the Raiders. And I think that's kind of hurt them. Like, because during my holdout stage, I was talking to Reggie. I was talking to, I was talking to Mark. I answered calls when Mark called me. You know, I answered the calls when Tom called me. You know, I answered the calls when Del Rio called me. Coach Tice called me. You know, I answered those calls. They were in communication with me. I don't know if he was doing that. I think he was just communicating with his agent. I think that might have rubbed them. And that time, Gruden was new, you know, and that was his first time meeting him.
Yeah. And no relation.
So that might have been the first.
No relation.
That might have been the first bad first impression, come off.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Gruden's type. Gruden ain't gonna beg nobody.
No.
I just know Gruden. I know Gruden's not gonna beg nobody. Like,
Yeah.
What about Brown? What happened with AB?
I have no idea. I wasn't there.
Yeah. No.
I have no idea. I was shocked. Gruden even did that.
Yeah.
He loved AB.
I
Like he always said he loved him, but
I just know how Gruden don't take that talking back. That he don't take that flamboyant above the team type. He don't take that type of person.
Yeah.
He don't take that type of guy. Like when we're all like, one thing I know DC keeps that like when we were there, we all cool. Like everybody's tight knit. We all joke around. Everybody jokes on each other. No hard feelings. Like we have a good time. I kind of feel like, even looking out, they kind of still have that same thing. So that was kind of weird. I was wondering how that was going to play out. It didn't play out well. I was kind of wondering how that was going to play out.
And so, I mean, the Raiders, they do have a bit of a tougher schedule, obviously, but defense is a big deal for them. But what, Derek Carr, like, to me, like, I when he came in, like, the potential for that guy was through the roof for me. And it doesn't seem everything's clicked yet.
I mean, dude, DC's been you got to look at DC. Look at DC's career. He's been broke records. He needs help. He needs help.
Yeah.
He's putting up 30 points. Defense is giving up 40. Like I'll talk to the head guy, or stuff like that. But we communicate, but we don't tell them. It ain't like we in the locker room like, hey, y'all better step it up, dog. Like,
you'll do that.
Like we scored all them points last game. Y'all ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, but we cool. Like, everybody's cool in the locker room, but they ain't like you talk about them about how they play and stuff. I mean, me and Khalil used to talk like man, like I remember the co game we lost and we'd be on the bus on the plane because Khalil used to sit right by me. He'd be like, we'd be talking like, man, we gotta do more, like talking about we as individuals. Whole to help. He talk about we as a whole defense. Like some game we lost, he'd be like, I mean, one game we lost KC and they ran the ball on us like stupid.
Ooh. Yeah.
And we on the bus and I'm on the plane and he's like, man, we gotta do better. Like, and Khalil's talking about I'm the leader of the defense. I'm talking about me and all. And DC sits right in front of him, and I sit right next to him. So we were just all chatting. Rodney was here, we what? Because at the end of the thing on the bus, on the plane, we chilling before I pour my adult cocktail. Then I look over the film and stuff. So while we were doing that, me and Khalil talking, and he was like, man, we gotta do better. And that means he was talking about us as a whole defense, because we damn near won that game. I think the next week was Denver too, and what happened that game. So he did what he needed to do. That next game though, but
is that
true? Stuff like that.
Was that true, Donald? No cussing in the huddle?
I cussed my ass off in that motherfucking huddle. I used to cuss.
Why do we hear that all the time?
I used to cuss for DC. DC make a bad pass. In practice. He'd be like, fudge, freak. I'm like, fuck, you wanted to say that? Huh? I said it for you. And he'd be like, D, come on, stop. I'm like, no, I'm gonna say it for you.
Yeah.
That kept us loose. And then the whole huddle started laughing. Even the coaches laughing because they can't hold it in.
Because I heard
that kept us loose. No, DC didn't cuss, but every time he got mad, he'd be like, freak. Darn it. I'm like, damn it. I'll yell it out for him. And he's like, D, come on. He's like, D, come on. Or they'll come back in the huddle. I'll be like, you really want to say fuck, huh? He's like, D, come on. Because he's like, you make a bad pass. He's like, fudge. He's like, he's yell it out.
Hearing him mic'd up is good. But
then when he gets to the huddle, I'm like, man, I'll say it for you. And I'll just yell it out for him.
Donald, I gotta ask you about that because that was one of my favorite moments. Non-football related, when you got out of your car and almost smacked that fan in the face. And you know what's funny about that is now that you're retired, we can talk about that. While you're playing, we probably couldn't as much. But the part that bothered me was it's so funny if you watch that video. He thought he was a tough guy until you actually got out of the car. The only NFL
until you
and then you got out.
I'm sorry.
He almost shit his pants. He shit his pants. He literally shit his pants.
I'm so happy you brought this up. So you remember when I tore my groin and I was out that year?
Yeah.
So I came back and I came back because they gave me a couple of weeks off, and I came home to train and stuff. I was doing my rehabs. When I came back out there, to see where I was gonna be able to play the last 2 months. So I'm out there, and I'm in the same car, and I went to go get something to eat, like right around the corner from my house. I live in Alameda right then, and it had a little shopping center. So I went in the Hamburger Habit. I called in because I wanted to be in and out because a lot of people see me try to be in and out.
Of course.
So I grabbed my food and I'm walking out, and I hear somebody like, "Hey, Penn," and I'm walking, my back's turned. I'm like, I hear somebody like, "Hey, Penn." So I'm like this, I kept walking. I ain't turn around. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Raider Nation?" I'm thinking it's just a fan. I'm trying to get back home.
Yeah.
Now they like, "Hey, Don." So I'm like, so I turn around like, damn, like I said, "What's up?" I turn around. It was a dude.
No, the same guy.
It was a dude, same guy. He said, "Man, I want to talk to you about that mission." I said, "Oh, it's you." So I went and I opened my car door, put my bag in there.
Said maybe,
So I took my sweater off. I said, "Oh, what's up now?" I said, "What's up now?" I said, "Ain't no cameras. Ain't nobody in this parking lot. It was hardly nobody there." I said, "We could do this right now." I said, "Ain't no cameras, ain't nothing." And dude was like, No, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. I just want to talk to you. I said, "Nah, ain't no talk." I'm like, "What's up?" I said,
it's a freebie.
I said, "Let's do it." I said, "Let's do it now." There's no cameras, empty parking lot. I said, "There's no cameras, nothing." And then his boys came out. And I'm like, "Yeah, I need to come get your boy." I said, "He ain't doing all that talking you doing now." Like, what I mean? I said, "You sober now, huh?" I told him, I said, "You sober, huh?" I said, "You sober?" He said, No, I'm a fan." I said, "Well, fans don't do that, bro." I said, "If you're a fan, be a fan." That's what I told him. And I told his boys like, he's like, "Man, why you, his boys came and like, why you even mess with him?" I said, "I'm by my car. He's following me to my car again." I said, "How am I messing with him?" I'm like, "Get your boy." I said, "He's doing all that talking." "Oh, yeah," I said, "You doing all that talking? We here now." I said, "And the camera in sight." Because I said, "You want to do all that stuff in front of the cameras." I'm like, let's go. I said, "Nobody would know." And then he started walking away. I'm like, man, I was like, man, that's just I hate that little.
that was fantastic though, because he was a tough guy, and then when you walked out of the car and then he saw the security guy come up and kind of stand in between you, he shit his pants. He literally shit his pants. And I thought to myself, how many guys would get out of their car in the NFL, right? Because it's funny. You know why I'm bringing this up?
Well, it's risky too. I mean, in today's world, but
did you see now these fans going crazy. They throwing water bottles at people. Like, he threw a water bottle at my car. Like I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone. I was texting, and you look, and you just see something just fly across the windshield. I'm in a Rolls Royce, bro. You throwing a water bottle across my car at me? Like, you got my attention.
Yeah.
And then when I looked over, I looked over, and I rolled down the window, and then he's like this. I said, "You threw the ball?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, he was like, so I'm like, "Oh, okay." That's why I was like, "Okay." I wasn't gonna do nothing. I was gonna get out and punch the dude. I'm not that stupid, man.
But my favorite one is just even recently. You seen the barbershop one with Tom Brady, right? And Tom Brady was on the barbershop show, and he's MFing everybody. He's cussing to everybody, and you never see Tom Brady cuss. You never see him talk like that. And he was on the barbershop show, and he said, "If I even did 90% what's in my head, I would have been arrested 25 times over in the NFL," he said, because he said, sometimes there is a limit, right? And I think a guy throwing a water bottle while you're driving by is the limit, right? And that's, the funny part is, fans are, be a fan. You could be critical. You can be whatever you want, but be careful, because someone might get out of their car and put it on you, right?
We still all human, man.
Correct.
I'll be feeling bad for, some athletes now, like when they get, like, people can go out there trying to mess. Like, I go out there trying to give a sack. Now, that sack on Derek Carr's leg, like, people still bring that shit up. Like, you did this year. Like, you don't think I wanted to win the freaking Super Bowl that year?
Of course.
Yeah, like, I did that same set 100 times. All of a sudden, I slipped on that shitty-ass fucking field.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man.
Exactly.
Like, I ain't want to go the whole season without giving up a sack. I ain't giving a sack the whole last game with a rookie quarterback. Like, I ain't want to go the whole season with. I was giving a sack. I did that on purpose. Like, get the fuck. Like, people
that's
really
crazy.
Like, come on now. Like, it should be really. Yeah. Like, come on. They see my fucking boy. Like, I believe it was rolling. I really got him hurt on purpose. I just slipped out the blue on purpose. Like I just slipped. My foot just came out of nowhere. Like, when have you ever seen me fall like that on the set? Like,
never.
And fans be hitting me talking about. They still be hitting me about that
stuff.
I'm talking about. Wow. Yeah, you killed our. Like, bro, I killed my dream too. That killed my dream too. Yeah, I thought we was going to Super Bowl. I thought that was my Super Bowl ring year that year too. What you mean?
Yeah.
Yo, I thought that was mine too. What they talking about?
Donna, what's with your kicks obsession? Like, some guys collect kicks. Yours is messed up. Like, you're gonna have to go see somebody. Like, you have way too many shoes, right? So please, it's bad. But explain to me this obsession. Like, I have a minor Air Force One obsession, okay? But my obsession is like a dozen shoes. Yours is like it is out of control. Please tell me.
It's crazy too, cause me and my girl went out. We went out last week, and I had this little outfit, and I know I had a pair of shoes. I hadn't worn them forever.
Somewhere.
I was searching. I went in my closet because like my guest closet, not my closet, my guest, one of my garages still got a lot of stuff from DC in there that I haven't went through yet when I lived out there. So I'm going through the boxes like trying to find this pair of shoes. I ended up like I'm in a full sweat after getting out the shower, looking for these shoes for like 30 minutes, and I couldn't find them. That's the bad part when you have so many, because then you don't have them laid out. I couldn't find the shoes, so I felt like I had to take another shower because I sweated so much. Being in the garage after getting out. Come think I got a shower. Big guy, you still sweat a little bit after you got a shower. So then moving, going to the hot garage and everything. But my obsession came up. When I grew up when I was younger, I used to get 2 pairs of shoes a year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and I got to save them, keep them clean, and then just growing up seeing those J's and stuff, and then it really started big. When I got that Nike deal, I was sponsored by Nike for 12 years of my career. So
that's awesome.
I'm getting shoes for free. So I'm buying. I remember when I used to live in Tampa and Florida. I used to buy 2 pairs of shoes, the ones I like, to leave one in Tampa and one in LA, so I have to travel back and forth. So then that's got big. But I've been giving a lot away. But it's just bad because my size is not that many people. Like I got like my cousin, like 2 of my friends that wear my size.
What size?
The bad thing is Menelik was out here. Menelik was in town. Menelik Watson was in town 2 weeks ago, and he wears my size. So I gave him like 4 pairs of shoes, and he's like, bro, these are brand new. I said, no, I haven't worn them. I don't think I'm ever going to wear them. I just take them. I'm trying to clean out, stuff I'm not going to wear anymore.
Donald, what size?
16.
But just for people at home want to know, right? They want to know.
Yeah, so like stuff that I'm not wearing, I know that's been sitting there for a long time, like that I'm not gonna wear anymore.
Yeah.
I try to give them away now instead, so I don't have so much junk though. But yeah, just growing up not being able to have what you wanted, now when you're at a point where you can get what you want, it's kind of like my kind of sessions like cars and shoes. I settle down on cars now because I'm not making no money like I used to. So I gotta be smart now because it's gotta last me and my kids the rest of our life. So I'm not doing that anymore. But that's kind of my thing. Growing up in LA, they used to have the low riders and the sound system. They used to, back in our days, hook up the little Honda Accord.
Yeah.
They used to do all that. The little Lexus,
too many subs you can fit in the back.
Yeah, with the subwoofer. So that's always been my thing. Growing up, and my best friend has a car shop now. So. My best friend growing up, he has a car shop now. He hooks up like all the people's cars, like a lot of people in the league and stuff. So just that just built, and I think my kids are starting to. They're not really on the shoe thing yet because they don't take care of it yet. But they like sometimes they be like, "Damn, I want to take that car." I'm like, all right, they're starting to.
So what are you gonna do? Donald, at 38 years old, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna just father this thing out to the rest of your life, or do you see yourself? Okay, commentating happens, but that's a process, right? It's that those, in the commentating world, something has to open up because usually those guys are locked into wherever they're doing. But at the same time, do you see yourself like 38, 39, 40? Like, it's great to have money and all these other things, but you've always been doing something. So maybe not today, but do you see yourself in the future? Anything?
I'm not in a rush.
Not at all.
14. I played 14 years of football. Like I had. Football. I just started back working out. I started working out for a little bit because my body was killing me, and I just started back. Me and my girl just started back like last week. So I'm gonna try to get back down because I'm probably about 10 pounds over my playing weight right now. So I want to get. I want to get like 10, 15 pounds under my playing weight. Yeah. See how my body helps. But I picked up golf, and I don't know if I picked up golf. I've been taking golf lessons.
I've been seeing that.
Yeah, I've been taking golf lessons for like the last 4 months. Off and on. I've been busy last 2 months. So I haven't been picking them up as much, but I'm enjoying that. And that's kind of like football. It's like I want to get good at it now, so I'm not gonna give it up. So
it's
now I'm like, it is. But
tough one.
It's driving me to keep wanting.
It's
driving me to make me keep.
It's tough to be real good at it.
But right now, man, I'm not in a rush. Really, man. I played 14. Like it kind of felt good. Like like one day last week, it's like I had nothing planned. Like I just chilled like the whole day. Like. I chill. I took a nap because my kids are with their mom during the summer. So I got them during the school year. So the kids with their mom during the summer. So I don't have the kids right now. So it's like took a nap, got in jacuzzi, took the dogs for a walk. It's like I did whatever I want to do. I didn't leave the house the whole day. I postmated some food home. It was like, it was cool. Like, boom. I was like, man, but I'm not in a rush, man. I did so much for so long, but I'm not gonna pass up an opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not gonna pass up one. If it's right and it's good, but I'm not in a rush either. You know what I mean? I'm not in a rush either. I mean, I'm enjoying this time off. Man. Like I played football. And I work out when I want to. Now I had mandatory where I had to. Like I'd be mad at myself if I missed a workout during off season. I'd just be mad at myself if I had something to do and I couldn't work out for a whole day. Besides Saturday and Sunday, my days off. But I'll be mad at myself. Like if I was still playing, I had to miss a day because I had something to do or something. I was like, oh man, I got to go harder the next day. You know what I mean? I do extra the next day. Like that's how I used to be. So it's new. It's kind of cool right now. So
What are you listening to? What are you listening to now? Like, what's your music? What on iTunes? What are you listening to?
I'm still on hip hop. J. Cole was my favorite artist. I mean, anything Drake's on right now. I mean, Drake's killing everything. I mean, he's
shout out to Drake. He's Canadian. We got to give him some love on the show. Right?
Oh yeah. Anything he's doing, and I listen to a lot of West Coast music too. So like they got this new group called Blue Bloods playing. I listen to. They got I still listen to my old E40 here and there. Even the new E40. But I listen. People think I'm all West Coast because I do like West Coast.
Well, that's what I thought too. Even with the music on Instagram for the show, because I grew up in the Detroit area, right? So everything was Biggie. So I was ready to put Biggie music on, and I'm like, oh, he's from Cali, man. I better put on Tupac,
Yes, yeah. But the thing is, I listen to everything. I was a Biggie fan growing up. If it bangs and it's nice, like I love South music. Like my girls from the South, so we listen. Like the other day, we went to lunch. We did UGK. UGK all day. We took it back. Then the other day we did all Jay-Z old hits. You know what I mean? Blueprint. We did all that. So, I like listening to everything with this new stuff now. I'll be in the car with my son. I'll be like, okay, the beat's nice. Then they start rapping. I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, the beat's crazy. But what are they talking about?
It's fun. I grew up in the Detroit area, and it's funny being almost 54 years old, and the kids around my neighborhood, they're like, and I'll be coming down the road in my car with the windows open, and I got old school Biggie Smalls playing, and they're like, Mr. Pavelich, who's that? And I'm like,
they don't even know, huh?
You don't even know who that is. I said, forget it. Get off me. You're not going to get none of this. I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm not going to give you an education in it. 54-year-old white man doing an education about hip hop from back in the day with Curtis Blow, Run DMC, with Biggie Smalls, and they're looking at me like, huh? They're writing all this down so they can check on iTunes later.
Yeah, the kids ain't never gonna know. They ain't gonna never know what some of our old stuff though. But we grew up in a nice little age. We playing Eminem and stuff.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, Donald, before we let you go, I want to know your most memorable game that you ever played.
Ever?
Yeah, the one that jumps out to you.
I'm probably going to say two, man.
Okay. Yeah, two. You can do that.
When I won the NFC South Championship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my second year in the league, NFC South Championship, and we clinched the playoffs. And when I won AFC title with the Raiders, when we beat San Diego that game, knowing we were going to playoffs, I mean, those probably my two biggest titles, two biggest games of my career because it's the only two times I played in the playoffs. Well, one, I mean, I didn't. Otherwise, I got hurt. So, but I gotta give those. Moments would probably be the Raider game against the Bucks when we won. I touchdown there.
Touchdown.
Against there, and then probably my first touchdown ever with the Bucks too. My first touchdown ever. Period.
You
and
love
then,
scoring touchdowns. You love scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, and then the one where I jumped into the black hole too. That was tight.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome.
That was tight. And I gotta say, my last game too against the Cowboys. Man, I didn't know that was gonna be my last game in Washington. I thought I was gonna keep playing. I thought I definitely gonna play next year though. But the last game against Washington. I mean, Washington against Dallas. That was a good game, man. I couldn't wait for that thing to say 0. But nah. I gotta say, I got a lot of good moments though, man. A lot of good battles, made a lot of good friends that are lifers, So
yeah.
Well, you're a class act. Like I think that you'd be awesome on TV, and definitely we need some more of that reality.
I appreciate it.
That, you know what, Donald, that's a great thing about being on this show, though, because this show never dies. So you will see this episode. It's live. You'll see it next week, the week after. And you know what? And I'll make sure that ESPN, that NFL Network, listen, let's stick to what we're good at, right? I'm good at promoting, right? So let's just stick to that. I will stick to that. Your agent will get a call one day, some mysterious call from ESPN, and they'll be like, "Where the hell did that come from?" Don't worry, I never get any credit, just for my family.
It might even be ESPN Detroit, huh? I'm gonna be there, huh?
well, there's no ESPN. We're in Canada. We're in Canada, right? So,
okay, yeah.
We live in Canada now. There's no ESPN here, so we gotta have.
Have they opened it up a little bit more out there yet?
In our province, yeah.
They just did, last week.
Just started.
I heard you guys been the strictest.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like
Stalin was rolling through the streets pretty much.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was weird. It was super weird, but we're all alive, and it's still Canada. I don't know if you've ever been, Donald, but Canada's one of the greatest countries in the world, man.
Oh, I love it out there. I've been out there.
Great
there twice. I got one of my old college teammates. He went out there and played, and he still lives in
the CFL.
Edmonton.
Oh, yeah,
that's where we are.
Yeah, he still,
that's where we are.
Okay, and he still lives out there. I gotta get out there and bring the kids one time. Man,
do you remember his name?
Jerome Dennis.
Jerome Dennis.
He played cornerback.
Yeah,
he played cornerback.
Awesome.
For the Eskimos.
My college
They're called the Elks now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what?
I think he won a chip. He won a chip with he won a cup out there with one team. I forgot.
I can't do it. I can't do the Canadian stuff. Like
we're big NFL. We're kind of against the CFL. Me and Mark. But
you know something nobody knows. I played a high school football game in Canada.
Really?
How'd that go?
They came to us one year, and next year we went out there.
How was
how
that?
bad did you beat them?
100-4.
Oh.
What was it? Yeah, crazy.
No, it was going good, and then we finally figured out they weren't faster than us, and you guys had the wider field, so we just started throwing. We just started throwing toss sweeps, and then our guy just hit that corner, and you guys. It was over at that. We had like 4 or 5 long runs in the second half because the field was so much longer. So our coach figured it out. We just put our fast guy in the back. They couldn't keep up when we threw them toss sweeps, and he would just hit that corner. He was just gone.
My friend was the president of the Eskimos, the CFL team here, and he used to invite me to the games all the time. And I couldn't come up with an excuse every time not to come, so I used to have to. Once a year, I would show up, and I'd be like, Why is there only 3 downs? Why do you give a guy 5 yards on a kickoff, which is disgraceful and all? Like 5 yards, you give him a 5-yard grace period, you know. And then the end zone is literally 20 yards long. Like
it's 20 yards long. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
With the pole in the middle too.
Yeah, pole in the middle.
Pole in the middle, right? Can you imagine?
It's got padding on
it. In the NFL, could you imagine you did that? Oh my god! So no, I wasn't down for it. He was a great guy, but I was not a CFL person. No.
I got you.
We get a lot of CFL guys that want to be on our show, and I tell them I love you because you're an athlete, but no CFL on the show, man. No.
One day we have to get some.
Okay.
No.
Well, Donald,
I'm glad you guys had me.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us tonight. You're awesome, and you know, well, I hope something cool happens. I mean, enjoy the break while it's there, but we really hope to see you on.
Keep up on the golf.
I know I'm not in no rush, so I'm just waiting. So we're gonna see.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. I talked to the Raiders. I'm gonna go out and work with them a little bit. Volunteer, doing training camp and stuff. So
cool. Donald, you mean like a coach?
No, like doing interviews,
like mentor,
like doing interviews. I might snatch a little rookie. The first round pick to the side a couple times. Show my suit.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't even help it. You can't even help it, man. You can't even help it.
I'm gonna make sure Colton takes me out to a big steak dinner on
that he should.
Amen.
Tell me he should do that
amen
for sure.
To that. Amen.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
You guys have a good one. Thank you.
Enjoy your night.
All right, have a good one. Thank
you so much, Donald.
See ya.
Thank you. Awesome, man.
There we go.
You know what's crazy,
Penn, everybody.
You know what's crazy about that interview? I've seen a million interviews with Donald Penn.
Yeah.
Never like that.
No. Good to be himself.
Never like that.
Well, I think that's what to me. I mean, you know, we're sick of the interviews that always talk about the same stuff. Which there's some of the stuff that you need to know, but there's always, like you said, there's a human being attached to these characters that we see on TV. That
Jesse,
we need
we
to know
have
about.
it. Jesse, we have it. We have it. Me and you have it. And the world's going to find out sooner or later that me and you have it, because we've had so many people on this show. I have seen 10 different interviews with Donald Penn and nothing like that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, nothing. People said when we were talking about having Donald Penn on the show, Jesse, I'm not joking. 10 people messaged me, go, oh, geez, that guy won't even talk on your show. He won't say 10 words on your show. Oh, he won't do this. He won't do that. And I'm like, well, it might be different, right? Because he's on the Me and Jesse podcast, and he might feel a little bit more comfortable. Hey, listen, I don't shout out any other show. You know the Barbershop Show? Have you seen it?
Yeah. Okay.
I saw Tom Brady on the show the other day, and I couldn't believe how open he was.
Yeah, he opened up.
But every guy on that show did, right? And trust me, they don't open up on anything. I mean, Tom Brady must have dropped 20 F-bombs on the show, okay? And Tom Brady's
it's 19 more than you've heard him say in his career.
At least, right? And then Tom Brady, and it's not about him dropping F-bombs. It's just about him being free enough to talk what's on his mind. Right. And I think that's important about the Me and Jesse podcast too, that people realize, hey, you're free to talk, even if we don't agree with you, but you're free to talk the way you want to talk on this show.
No, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's what's missing in sports in general.
I do too. We're watching the same bullshit interviews everywhere we go. Yeah. And when you watch a guy in the NFL, hey, Donald Penn would have never talked like that either, though. Probably 2 years ago.
You can't.
Now he's retired. So he can tell you what he feels about things.
Unless you're watching, again, I have to bring this up every single week, but Formula One, where I cringe at the questions that get asked, because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just asked that. And you're like, it's the only sport right now that is actually real about something. So
it's real.
I hope it catches on, because I love hearing these guys
it's
talk
unbelievable.
and be themselves and allowed to be themselves. Because I think a lot of the times, they get coached or taught to not be themselves, just to toe the party line.
You can't be yourself. You cannot be yourself.
But then also NFL, too,
NHL,
on the other side,
you cannot.
Guys like T.O. and A.B. and they are themselves.
And what happened?
And so they're like, well, rather than having that blow up, let's just make sure everyone doesn't say anything.
No, they were castrated by the NFL by talking that way, right? But what I'm saying is, moving forward, is I think more people would watch an interview like this with Donald Penn than watch someone talk about, oh, we skated really hard. It was a great game.
100%.
Thanks for having us out. Oh, and then everybody's like, oh, that was terrible. I'd really like to know who that person is. I'd really like to know who they are. You know what I mean? Because you don't know. Tom Brady said on that show last week that if he said what was 90% of what's in his head, if he said out loud, he would have been kicked out of the NFL. Yeah. like because that's how it is, though. But
well, he's a human being too. Like he has correct. Those thoughts.
Yes.
They're not allowed to say them. I mean, Peyton Manning, I'm sure, had the thoughts too.
Yes.
And just couldn't say it. I mean, he was, gearing up for a long career after football too. But again.
And you know what's funny? When I became a Raiders fan, and then as time passed on, I messaged Donald Penn one time a long time ago. And I'm everybody knows I'm not some fanboy, okay? But I messaged him telling about how great he played, okay? How he played, like, because I can relate. I can relate to the way he played, because he turned it into a street fight against the other guy he was playing against the whole game, and he didn't take no shit. And did you know in his high school career? No, excuse me. Forget high school. His college career, he didn't allow one sack.
Wow.
Go look it up, everybody. Donald Penn, in his college, not high school, his college career didn't allow one sack. So this just to try to tell you the character of the individual, okay? Right. So you'll understand what I'm talking about when a guy doesn't allow one sack in his college career. Think about it for a second.
Too.
Think about it for a second, okay? Yeah.
Well, everybody, hey, here we are again, middle of summer. Had Canada Day, and things are opening back up. What you excited about?
And we had Canada Day. Don't and listen. You know what I love about it? I must have got 500 people messaging me about cancel Canada Day, and you know what I said to them? And it said on their thing, it said cancel Canada Day. Don't be mad because we want to cancel Canada Day. And you know what I told all of them? I'm not mad that you want to cancel Canada Day. You're mad because I want to celebrate it.
Yeah. So the thing is, and if we're gonna talk about this for a second, the thing is that every single human being, every single country in the world has something they've done they're not proud of.
Oh, are you kidding?
Now, granted, this is a big one. I get it, but we're not celebrating that. We're celebrating that we're not there now.
Correct.
And we don't do that now.
Correct.
And we're moving on from that and saying, hey, we made a mistake. We're going to try to rectify this. We don't know how. We don't know what the next steps are, but we're trying to take the steps to do that. And that's what we're celebrating.
Yeah.
And we have a country that allows us to do that. If we lived in China or Russia and that came out, it would be buried and you'd never hear about it again.
You are correct.
So we have to celebrate this place because we get freedom, which isn't free. People paid for it with their blood.
That's correct.
And we need to celebrate that and never forget that.
Yes.
And it allows us to do shows like this. We get to actually sit here and talk to athletes around the world for entertainment that entertain but play a sport, and we get to do that. And we live in a country that allows it, and we're free to do that kind of thing.
That's
and
correct.
there's so many things. Yes, I understand that there's travesty. There's been a lot. You know, the Jews. I don't know if you know this. There was a boat of Jews in World War II riding a boat called the St. Louis. 5,000 of them. They came into Halifax because they were running away from Germany. They were turned around, and all of those people ended up in the Holocaust. That's one story that Canada's had. You don't hear about that one, though.
Yeah.
There was also Chinese or Asians that came and built the railroad through the Rockies. Thousands of them were killed.
Yeah.
For horrible working situations. Also during World War II, I don't know if you know this, but we had POW camps and we rounded up every Asian there was and threw them in it because we thought they were part of Japan.
Correct.
And so there's a lot of things that we're not proud of. There's a lot of things that we need to rectify.
And not to compare it, Jesse, but you go through Europe and you go through all those places, and I don't want to compare what's worse or what's not worse or what's
it's relative that way. It's bad.
But it's all bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
But as Canadians, did we actually think in our minds that we never did anything wrong?
Yeah.
That's the part that disturbs me. That's the part that disturbs me.
That's what I was trying to say. We've had a history of doing stupid things.
Yeah, and guess what? So has every country in the world. So what I'm trying to say is, when we were, and we didn't want this to turn into a Canada thing, but that had to be brought up on the show today. And I'm glad you did that, Jesse, because that was something. And listen, like I said, you also have the right to cancel Canada. That's your right.
Yeah, you don't have to celebrate it.
You do not. But but if I want to celebrate it, you also.
And that is an issue that we're facing today, is that if, some people say you don't want to do it, well, they don't want anyone to do it then. Well, no, that isn't how it works.
Well, correct.
So,
listen, but on the flip side, fantastic tonight with Donald Penn.
Yeah, so
I'm elated because all the people are like, well, he'll be good for 5 minutes. I'm like, guess what? Wrong answer. Donald Penn delivered like I knew he would. The guy's an all-star. He's a great person, great family man, and just all around great dude. And I'm a fan.
If you have any glass problems, any glass needs, you break your windshield, get a ball through the window, be sure to call 310 Glass. Crystal Glass for all your glass needs.
Crystalglass.ca.
Thank you very much for that, and thank you, Donald Penn. Thank you, Mark.
Next week.
It's interesting because some of these guys are, coming out of the thing. We have another person that climbed Everest, believe it or not.
Yes. But it's not an Everest thing.
It's not an Everest thing, but it's weird that
he played in
the
NFL. We have this Everest connection, but he played in the NFL. And he also played for the Raiders. I think he played for the Vikings, and he played for the Reds at that time. It's a Washington team, but they called the Redskins back then. And then now he is an executive at Sports Illustrated, and he almost died on Everest.
Wow.
And he'll be on the show next week, everybody.
Mark Pattison, yeah. So he's a really inspiring, super motivating guy. I recommend to tune in, and we're elated to have him on the show next week. Well, until next time, thanks so much, Donald Penn, for joining us tonight. Be sure to follow him on all social media. That's Mark Pavelich. Actually, that's Mark Pavelich. I'm Jesse Martineau. This has been the Me and Jesse podcast, the most exciting 60 minutes with Donald Penn, plus 15 pretty cool minutes with us, too. We'll see you next time when we're joined by Mark Pattison on the Me and Jesse podcast. See you, everybody.
Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/Me and Jesse. Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/meandjesse. Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/meandjesse.